Welcome to New Life Live with Stephen Arterburn. For 35 years, New Life has been transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's today's host, Becky Brown.
Well, hello, everyone. We're so grateful that you decided to tune in today. I know that you are wanting to hear some great wisdom, and we've got it. We got Dr. Sheri Keffer, who's a psychologist, author, speaker, all-around amazing co-host, and Dr. Jacqui Mack-Harris, who's also marriage and family therapist, author. Well, I don't think you're an author, but you're a professor, which means that you've written a lot. And former nurse and veteran, and we're so grateful that you're here. Jacqui, what's on your mind today?
Communication. I've had a couple of conversations this week about communication, and I'm starting to study communication because I'm finding that what we are struggling the most with and what comes into the office is that one person is saying something and the other person is hearing something else. And my husband and I had a conversation this morning on my way in, and I grew up where I had dictionaries and encyclopedias because my mom couldn't answer questions and I had lots of them, so she gave me resources. He grew up, and it's, I love my in-laws, but it's the one frustration I have when we go there to visit is the entire time we're there, my daughter and I are gritting our teeth because they're constantly saying, you don't know nothing. You didn't do that. You can't do that. And so he grew up being told he couldn't.
Wow.
And I grew up being told, go figure it out.
Yeah, learn the Encyclopedia Britannica,
right?
Which we
go learn, right?
That's amazing.
And so what we were talking about was how there are things that he will say that doesn't mean what he's said. And I hear the words and go according to the words. Those words have definitions. And so I know that that's happening in lots of relationships. It's what's coming into the room. And what I say I get to do as a therapist is reflect back what someone shares with me in a way they can use. Sometimes that's hard to do, though, because I'm reflecting it back based on my worldview, my experience, how I understand that language. And they've grown up in an environment where those things mean something else. And my husband was saying, growing up in a place where the vocabularies of people was limited and not a big reading population, literacy is low, we made up definitions for words. And so they don't all mean the same thing as that we think they do. And I just don't think people recognize that when they're having a conversation. We use the word common sense, and that it's only true if we grew up in the exact same place at the exact same time, hearing and learning all the exact same things. We didn't. And if we were the same body, and God created us different for a reason. So I just want people to pay attention to what a person is saying and be more interested in understanding them than correcting them.
Yeah. That's just profound. And as you were talking, I was thinking about what it would be like to grow up in a family like that, and I wonder what kind of self-talk communication. So those might be messages like, that even might be spoken out loud, like, I'm such an idiot.
Oh, my husband will say this, pretty smart for a black dude, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that grated on my nerves. And I'm like, how about that was a smart thing? Right, you are a smart man, but he is, and he pastors, and he's done some college, but he struggles with the confidence in what he does because he has that memo in the back of his mind that says you know nothing, you can't do that.
I love that concept, and I also think we always say. We would say things like communication is the key, but it's actually comprehension is the key.
Yes.
Because like you started with, Jacqui, that we could be talking, but we're talking from two sides of the world.
Yes.
And we just have to get curious. We have to ask more questions, not from a defensive standpoint, but just to get more knowledge.
And those two parts of the world might just be two different houses.
That's right.
Or in the same house.
Or
two different bodies.
Yes. That's right. Yes. That's right.
I just love that you had this ouch in your soul over what he said because it hurt you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, we want to hear from you. 1-800-229-3000 is the number, and we'll be back right after this break.
My husband was involved with pornography addiction.
He was unfaithful. He stepped out on the marriage and ended up having a child.
The Restore Intensive is designed for a woman dealing with a man's sexual addiction issues.
There were strip clubs.
My husband is a recovering sex addict.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or a physical affair, or pornography, the Restore Intensive will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
Restore has empowered me and has given me the tools to work through my anger, work through my pain, work through my confusion, and help me realize that I am worthy.
Being here and being surrounded by people who get it has given me my power back.
The Restore Intensive is coming to Dallas, Texas, July 12th through the 14th. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50.
Thank you, Restore. You have changed my life forever.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
I'm Steve Arterburn with the New Life Moment. I'm convinced that life without risk isn't much of a life. There's a certain comfort in predictability, but it's the kind of comfort that prevents movement and growth, a comfort you find in hibernation. An athlete must regularly stretch his muscles to the point where they burn, or else they'll become inflexible and easily fatigued. The same is true with your soul. It must be regularly stretched, and failure to do so provides a degree of superficial comfort in the short term. But ultimately, it leaves you emotionally and spiritually unfit. Connecting, finding love, pursuing dreams, and succeeding all require risk. Yes, you'll be stretched to the point of discomfort. And yes, you'll be open to injury and disappointment. But these are far better alternatives than the loneliness, boredom, and quiet desperation that accompany a life without risk. Visit me at newlife.com for more help on taking risk. I'm Steve Arterburn, and thanks for listening to this New Life Moment.
We always enjoy hearing from Steve, and I just want to give a big shout out to our Club New Life members who give every month to help support the ministry. We also have a quarterly gathering where our Club New Life members come together on a Zoom, and Steve is going to be presenting at the next one on July 8th. It's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern Time, so if you aren't part of Club New Life, you could join today. You can call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and sign up today. But if you are part of Club New Life, you'll get to hear Steve. And we have a time of Q&A where you can interact with him as well as the rest of the team. But we just, I love his way of looking at things. And isn't that the truth, that life without risk is really a risky life? That the predictability that we can get ourselves into is our comfort zone, and we have to be willing to take the risks and to do something different. And I know a lot of people struggle with that, but I'm so grateful for his wisdom. Go ahead.
You said life without risk is, or Steve said, life without risk is risky. And I just had to go back to that because I don't know that I've ever heard it said that way, but it struck me. Right, I'm not moving forward and taking risks, which I think every time God calls me to something, it's a risk. I'm like, God, are you sure? Because that seems terrifying. You think I can do that? But the risk of not just, I don't, that being in that stuck place of just waiting for something to happen to me instead of walking the path God has set before me does feel much more risky than stepping out on faith and doing the thing God has called me to do. Even if I have to be in negotiation with God for a little while I'm getting myself to the path out of my own fear and discomfort. I might drag my feet a little, but I'll risk it all for God. But the thought of not taking a risk at all, it sounds like depression to me. It sounds like a lot of anxiety to me. It sounds like a fear-driven life. And so it made me think of the emotional freedom workshop.
Yeah, I love that. And it's so true that we can get into those comfort zones and stay stuck because of the risk to take one step in another direction. And we're here for it. We're here to help you.
I'm thinking
Go ahead,
of
Sheri.
a dear friend of mine right now, and she may be listening if you are listening, I just want you to know, Joyce, how much I love you. But Joyce is one of my heroes because she has lost multiple husbands. They've all passed. Her last husband, it was through COVID. And, I think about her beauty, who she is as a person, her age, and it would be very easy for someone like Joyce to stay home and just put together puzzles, which she does love doing, put together puzzles and just live a very small life. Mm-hmm. But guess what happened? Joyce fell in love again. Mm-hmm. And, I'm not going to tell you how old she is, because she would go, why did you say how old I was on the radio? But, she's a mature woman. And yet she has fallen in love with someone who is also in a later age. And they are doing things together. They're doing projects around each other's houses. And that's the difference between risk. Life without risk is risky. It's risky to sit around and make puzzles all day long
and wait for something good to happen in your life.
And then feel bored or feel like, oh, okay, what am I gonna eat next? Instead of, I'm watching her live life fully. Awesome. And have dinner parties and invite this gentleman over, and it's just like, wow,
it's living.
It's living.
It's living. And so many people would not. They would sit and just wait.
Yeah.
And then
wait to die.
Wait to die, because then they become sick. And I used to do home health care nursing, and failure to thrive was a disorder that we would end up having people go on hospice for. And they would come to failure to thrive sometimes out of sheer loneliness. Their children live far away. We've dispersed from our family units and our little villages, and with no one to speak to, nothing to do, no social life at all. People just lay in bed and begin to waste away. You lose your appetite. You lose your ability to recall things. You lose track of time. You have a hard time sleeping. They just begin to literally die from loneliness. And it's risky to step out. And there had been times where we put a caregiver in with someone and they came off a hospice simply because we provided them a relationship.
Wow.
Connection is so powerful. And that's what we've been talking about for 35 plus years. We believe in the power of the other person. And many times we do get isolated because it's out of our comfort zone. Well, one of the things that we do here, as you know, is we answer questions from so many people in so many ways. And one of the challenges a lot of times is that you're listening at different times. So we provided a way for you to submit questions. You can go to newlife.com/radio, and there is a way for you to submit your questions. And I want to submit a question to you and both of you in the studio there. This comes from Rhonda, who's calling us from Chicago, Illinois, writing in. And her question is my husband a wolf in sheep's clothing? Am I being taken advantage of? What do I do when he clearly disrespects my boundary of not contributing to the household monetarily? She is a longtime listener, loves the program, and she says her background is her first marriage was emotionally abusive for 25 years. When she met her current husband, this is his second marriage too, she thought he was so kind and loving. She was impressed with his knowledge of the Bible, his strong faith life. The only catch was he was broke. Within the first 3 weeks of dating, he asked to borrow money and to make delinquent car payments. I didn't hesitate for a second and said yes. I figured my money is God's money, right? He blessed me so I can bless others. Long story short, this has been our relationship during the 6-year marriage. I pay for everything, house, utilities, groceries, travel, etc. She is confused and resentful and wants to know, what can I do?
I know that this is a Dr. Sheri question, but I just need to Rhonda's confusion confuses me because he's the same person he was when she was dating him. So help me, Dr. Sheri.
That's true.
Well, and I had that same thought. And it's interesting how we can be in such a stuck place that it's easier for us to wonder about the wolf instead of wondering about what is it about me that has codependently taken care of this man and become his sugar mama since we started dating. And you know, it's interesting, when I first met Kyle, and Kyle is, you know, I can appreciate it, Rhonda, because Kyle is my second husband. And when I met him, he was broke. He had gone through a divorce. He was living in a one-room with his son, a woman who had 6 different gentlemen renting rooms. She was an older woman. And he lost his house, lost his car. And actually, when I met him shortly thereafter, he had lost his job. And I was like, okay, he is not at a good place. He is a good guy, but he is at a really bad place financially. And I don't know if you all remember, I was encouraged to date, 20 men, and I couldn't land with anyone. Steve Arterburn had written the book, Steve's book.
Henry Cloud.
Henry Cloud. Is this
How to Get a Date Worth Keeping?
Yeah, How to Get a Date Worth Keeping. And then Is This the One? Was Steve's book. So they were both, encouraging me to date. But I didn't stop with Kyle. I continued to go on, but I told him, I said, I really like you. You have a lot of character. And yet I can't marry someone who is not financially got something going on, like a job. And, so one of the things that he did is he went to work. He got another job. He began to actually go back to school. He got a career. And he actually sold his Harley Davidson truck to pay for my ring. Mm-hmm. And now he has a private practice. He's doing well. I had to see that before I married him. And I said, you have to be out of debt. Now, do you think this is not really about money? It's about responsibility and money, secondarily. Codependently, I could have, and I know how she felt. There were times I paid for a date, right? Paid for whatever. That's kindness. Mm-hmm. But I had to look at my own issues of codependency and say, Sheri, you've learned so much about self-care, and you've learned so much about, being free, and I didn't want to lose my life again. So what do you do, Rhonda, in this situation? You're going to need a major overhaul. You're going to need somebody, my dear, who's going to be able to, like Dr. Jacqui or myself, help you stay out of projecting wolf face as the problem and begin to say to you for the first time in your life, what are you doing legally and financially to protect your resources? Mm. What can you do to put down some financial boundaries? Relational boundaries, emotional boundaries, which would require that your husband get a move on. I mean, start doing something. He's got a good thing going. Yeah. But people don't change unless we change the playing field. Mm-hmm. And boundaries are exactly what needs to happen at this point, Rhonda.
And I think they'd be really hard.
You know what's interesting, though, Sheri? You brought up the fact she's asking the wrong question. Is my husband a wolf in sheep's clothing? What's the answer to that?
No,
that's right.
There's no sheep's clothing. Right. Like he is the guy he showed up as in the beginning, who asked you to pay bills for him long before you were married. I think one of the challenges for women is that Christian women, is that they have a belief about what certain things mean. And if he loves the Lord, and my money's God's money, then he's going to give me what I want, what I expect as a wife. And the reality is, he's going to give you what he's giving you now and maybe less once you're married. And I don't know how it is we help make that shift, but I encounter this a lot in the church and in the couples that I work with, where there has been this false narrative about what marriage is that's been portrayed, and then people get married, and things don't shift. In her mind, she was going to be kind and generous and help him, and he was going to get on his feet. She could not fathom that the reality is he's in debt and delinquent on things because that is who he is. And so she needs to do some work to come into his world where he actually is, instead of where she's in fantasy and idolizing.
And
I also, go ahead, Sheri.
I was going to say, in spiritualizing, it's really easy to spiritualize, which I think can be a form of denial.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of work in the area of caring for yourself, loving yourself, and being somebody who's worthy of protecting yourself from being used. And it's okay if this is the way you've always been, but you don't have to stay that way.
That's right. That's right.
Becky, you're going to say something.
I was going to say, Rhonda, call us. We will get you connected with a therapist, because you're going to need help. You're going to need help taking care of yourself. But I also think you need a group, because, those other women can speak into your life as well. We're grateful for the question. We'll be right back after this.
When you give to the New Life Scholarship Fund, you're giving someone hope for a brighter future.
I was kind of in the closet and hid with my struggle. Your donation really made the difference, especially in my situation, because I ended up getting laid off from my job.
At the New Life Intensives, hurting people are able to begin a new path towards healing and freedom that has an effect on all of those around them.
I think the people who support New Life financially are people that I'll never know. I'll never be able to thank them personally for the gift that they gave to us. Their giving saved me, my husband, and our family from being torn apart.
To help hurting people to connect to the help they need, make your gift to the Scholarship Fund at newlife.com or by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE and specifying scholarships.
Someone called and sponsored me to come this weekend. Whoever that is, just know that you saved a life. Literally, you saved my life.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found life recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back. We all like to think that we're self-aware, but are you truly aware of the level of emotional freedom that you have? We're talking about comfort zones and taking those risks. We have a free quiz that you can check this out, and you might be surprised at the outcome. You can go to newlife.com/emotional freedom to take the free quiz. And, we've been doing this kind of work for over 35 years, and wisdom is timeless, especially godly wisdom. There's a lot of information that you can receive out there, and sometimes it's really like flash in the pan. And what we have, just heard from over the years is all kinds of great wisdom. And so we're going to do a flashback call right now with Steve, Dave, and John. And Lori is the caller.
Let's go to Lori from Anchorage, Alaska. KATB is the station. Hi there.
Hi.
How are you?
Not good.
Oh, what's going on?
I've been a lot better.
What's going on?
Well, a couple days ago, I discovered that my husband has been viewing internet pornography, and I confronted him about it, and he repented of it and said he was glad that I knew now because now he could fight it. And
okay.
This is such a huge wound for me. This is something I dealt with in my last marriage.
Right. So let's don't deal with it the same way you dealt with it in the last marriage, okay?
I'm not.
Okay, so
I
what
need
did you...
help because
Okay.
I want to forgive him. He's a godly
Well,
man.
don't forgive him.
It's not time to forgive
We don't
him
want you
yet.
to forgive him right
Well,
yet.
you can say I want to, but I'm
Yeah.
not ready.
Yeah, I don't want you to forgive him yet. I want you to get help for him and for you, and I want him to show you that he loves you, not tell you he loves you or tell you he can get over this. And so I think, what did he say he was willing to do?
Well, he said he wants me to be his accountability person. I said, I can't do that because I'm the
Good.
one that you hurt.
That's the right answer. Good.
Okay.
And he said, well, I know that now that it's out in the open, I think I can get through it. And I said, this is not something you just get through because somebody else knows about it. So he asked me to put a filter on the computer, which I did, and he said that he wanted me to do it because if he did it, he'd know the password.
Basically,
like
Laura,
he
he wants every solution that won't involve him telling someone besides you, and that's the only solution. I'm sorry.
Well, I basically told him, I said, because I bought your software, and I told him, I said, fine, I've got this on there, and I'm going to get emails of everything that's searched for.
Lori,
my only compromise with you here is if I find one thing on there, you're going to a group.
There you
and
go.
He agreed to that.
Okay.
And you probably will find something because he's going to white knuckle it for a while, and then the temptation will hit.
But that's the right answer.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think you might want to do something a little scarier than that. Okay? Here's what I'm thinking, is that tonight you sit down with him and say, I need to talk to you for a minute. It's okay if you're tearful, whatever. You say, here I was married and there was this pornography problem. And you and I talked about that when we were dating, right? Is that right?
Right.
You did.
Mm-hmm.
And you knew how hurtful it was, and you never admitted it was a problem to you. Then we get married, and then here it is. I feel hurt, humiliated, and I'm just wondering, do you love me enough to go get help for this? Do you love me enough to not wait till another picture comes up that I find out about, but do you love me enough to go fix what is broken so I don't have to live through this like I did in the first marriage? And I'm just hoping and praying that he's going to say, you know what, that pornography wasn't because I didn't love you. Yes, I
That's
love
all right.
you.
We've already had this conversation pretty much.
And he has, so
Almost.
he's essentially said, I don't love you enough to get help. Is that right?
It would seem that way.
Yeah.
Unless something comes up again, he feels that this is, that he has the answer at this point.
Mhm.
And, I told him, because I struggled with internet pornography, and I said, it does not just go away.
Right.
It is a constant struggle.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something, it has scarred me so deeply that I've struggled with bulimia over this because I've never felt adequate. I have not ever tried to kill myself over it, but I've thought about it this time because it hurt so bad. And the betrayal was so deep because he was a godly man. My last husband was not.
Well, godly men do this too, unfortunately.
I know.
Lori, Lori?
Yes.
I like what Steve and Dave have suggested. I think those are really, really helpful on his end. But I have a concern for you personally that is not related to this. You do what so many wives do, is that you personalize your husband's pathology, and you don't feel adequate enough and all this. And I want you to either know that it's not about you, that it's about something inside him, control, narcissism, withdrawal, not trusting God, whatever. And if you can't depersonalize that and realize my husband has a problem and it's not about me and it's not my fault, and if you can't do that, I want you to get some help because it's a separate but very, very important issue. Mm-hmm. All right?
I'm going to have to because I cannot. I just keep breaking down in tears over this. I went so far as to get breast augmentation to feel better about myself.
You have to get help, Lori.
I'm a wreck.
It's a separate issue, but quite important for you.
Okay.
All right. It's never, Lori, it's never about the wife.
No.
Never. But you're going to have somebody help you believe that.
It's so powerful. These are problems that people have been having for many years. We're going to talk to Jacqui and Sheri and hear the women's side of this, but boy, it's tough. It's tough to hear that struggle. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for over 34 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for your life and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow. Call 1-800-639-5433.
Club New Life changes lives.
I think I go way back to listening to New Life, learning so much from it, and then becoming a Club New Life member.
Club New Life is a monthly giving family that helps New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people.
You know, I'm so thankful because, you know why I keep giving? Because I keep learning, and I'm so thankful for all the lives that you touch every day and the people's lives. So when I get to still hear the radio show, it's just so encouraging to my heart.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
And you know one reason I give? Because I feel like sometimes I'm hiding behind a counselor's couch, listening to all this great information and not paying. So my guilt of this great advice is alleviated by being a Club New Life member.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. And together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back. We just listened to a call that was made years ago to New Life Live. Lori had called in because she had discovered her husband using pornography. And while it seemed as though he was willing to do whatever it took, it was continuing to land into her land of responsibility, that she would have to get the filter for the computer, that she would be his accountability partner. And so many women hear that from their husbands, and they're ready to take the challenge on, right? And I know, Sheri, in your book, Intimate Deception, Healing the Wounds of Sexual Betrayal, you address so many of these issues. And, you know, this is a timeless call, which is, it's sad, but true. We still hear this problem.
Yeah.
What would you have said to Lori as the female, you know, approach to this?
Yeah, I would have first related to her because I understand her story all too intimately. And how I would explain what Lori is doing and what many women do, I would phrase it as betrayal, trauma-induced control. So we go into trying to control the problem because of the impact of betrayal. It's actually a trauma response. It's not typical controlling behavior. It's betrayal trauma. I'm trying to manage your issue, and I'm giving myself an okay to do that because I want to stop you from the thing you're doing that's hurting me. And I know I did this with Connor for years, and I felt like I was out at sea with Connor, and we were on a boat, and there was just horrific waters that we were having to manage. But what the problem is that Connor was shooting cannonballs into our boat. And I did what every red-blooded woman would have done, is I basically started getting buckets and trying to scoop the water out of a sinking ship. I took on that responsibility as he was shooting the cannonballs to try to save the ship that I was on with him. But what I didn't realize is that I had to become my own captain. I had to become my own captain. Now, that doesn't mean that I had to manage his accountability, but I had to begin to say to myself, what am I not willing to do? What is hurting me? And I think this trauma model that is now kind of what's more prevalent is looking at it from a lens of trauma and the impact from that, and realizing what she's doing. Because basically, Lori's husband, and this isn't uncommon, Lori's husband, she found out, right? And basically, for someone who is a porn addict or a sex addict struggling with looking, they just got a permission slip. Because now their wife knows, and she said, I'm glad you now know. So, let me tell you what happens without intervention and him getting into treatment and starting to do the hard work of sobriety and stopping acting out, is he, in his own mind, because I work with sex addicts, basically says this: all right, she knows. She now knows. So now I can absolve myself from my guilt that I'm doing this secretly. And I'm like, at some point down the road, and I have them tell me this, he's like, she found out like 10 years ago. She knew this was going on. And I'm like, whoa. What is that? That's gaslighting. You're not taking ownership and responsibility. You're trying to pin the tail on the donkey. And the last time I looked at your wife, she's not a donkey. It's really taking ownership over the work that needs to be done. And it can get so messy as we're trying to save the one who's acting out, change the one that is acting out. But the one that needs to do that work is him. And then we have to become our own captain. We have to start doing our own trauma work. We have to get very empowered and strong and start drawing lines in the sand and putting boundaries down and not tolerating this thing that harms us so much.
And that not tolerating has consequences.
Yeah.
And I find that women can set some really hard boundaries and can talk about the expectations of, those boundaries being respected and what they need the partner to do or to not do. But they don't change anything about themselves, right? They don't remove them. They keep showing up for him in the same way. Like Lori putting the software on, I'll sit with you. And right, because I need to be able to trust that even if you have the password, like you chose this. So he's made it her problem and her responsibility, and she's accepting that out of her feelings of inferiority.
That's right.
And sometimes the husband gets to continue on, as you said. Well, now I don't have to feel that tension and anxiety that I'm get caught, because that's already happened. So now that's behind me. If that was the thing that was keeping me secret, I'm going to be more secretive now and more sneaky now. But sometimes the relationship is done, because I've worked with so many couples where the person who's acting out sexually, or at least their partner feels that that's what's happening, is saying that I'm not a sex addict. I don't have that problem. I mean, yeah, I got some massages or some whatever the things are, but they're not changing.
Right. Well,
until you just keep jumping through the hoops.
And if you're a woman and you're identifying with Lori's story, or even what Jacqui and Sheri are saying, you can find the help for you. We can help you. We have our Restore Intensive, which is going to be July 12th through 14 in Dallas, Texas. And we also have counselors that specialize in these kind of things. We know that this is painful. This is heartbreaking. You could call us and get a copy of Sheri's book, Intimate Deception, Healing the Wounds of Sexual Betrayal. There is so much help out there, and I want to encourage you, if this is part of your life, begin the healing today and give us a call. Right now, we're going to go back to the calls, and we're going to talk with Bill, who's calling us from Los Angeles. He listens on KKLA. Hello, Bill. Thanks for calling. How can we help you today?
Hi. Thank you for taking my call. I just wanted to tell you that I am getting married soon, and I am meeting my future stepson, who is actually, he's 35 years old. He's a veteran, and I don't know, talked a little bit about him, but I'm meeting him for the first time. And I'm just wondering if you have any, again, he has PTSD, and he's a nice guy, and he's supposedly looking forward to meeting me, but do you have any recommendations or suggestions for me in that first meeting with someone who is well, he's been in the military, he's got PTSD, he's a disabled vet, and I'm just a little bit apprehensive about that meeting.
All right, Bill. Well, that's a big step. It's, getting married and introducing yourself with the family. Jacqui, let's start with you. How would you direct Bill?
Bill, I would just be curious. There's going to be a lot of time, hopefully, for you to get to know him better and spend time with him and go deeper. But I think in this first meeting, I would keep it easy, keep it light, and let it just organically evolve. He's checking you out to make sure you're safe for his mama, and as a vet, the mission comes first, and so he wants to just get to know you too, and so I would just be authentically who you are, so that he can see that and alleviate some of his anxieties. But, you said he's a nice guy and he's looking forward to meeting you. He's probably really happy for his mom and feeling the same way, just hoping you're a good man and a good choice for her. And so show him that. Show him how amazing a husband you are going to be for her, and stepfather / friend with him. After you guys have gotten married, there'll be time for you guys to go deeper and, take, trips and bowl or whatever men do together to bond in 2024. But on that first meeting, I would just be curious and be as open as I can be, with, boundaries. But that's what I would suggest.
Great. Sheri?
Well, I have a quick question. Maybe think about it on the break. What's the woman you're marrying, what's her history with men? What happened to her son's dad? What was the demise of that relationship?
Yeah.
Any wounds he might be carrying from that. Yeah.
Well, and I'm kind of curious how long you've been dating, and what's that about? So we got all kinds of questions for you, Bill, after the break. But you can be thinking about those things. Yeah. Yeah. It's really an important step to, get married, no matter if this is first or second, but even more so when it's second, because you want to be ready for the new relationships. We're grateful that you called, Bill. Hold on, and we'll get right back to you after this break. You're listening to New Life Live. We'll be right back.
We all face days where life throws us a curveball and our routines or plans get disrupted. Things we wanted to do are forced to take a backseat to the unexpected demands of the day. If you normally listen to New Life Live on a radio station, well, you might not be able to that day. And on these hectic days when you're feeling stressed or frazzled, hearing the sound of counsel given on New Life Live is just what you need to navigate the unexpected things of life.
Every time I'm troubled or I have a problem, I'll cut on New Life, and there's always something that is said that is helpful to me.
By listening, I have learned more than I can ever express about how God wants me to live.
Download the New Life app for the easiest way to listen wherever you are and at a time that's convenient for you, or watch the show on our YouTube channel. You can even subscribe to our podcast from your favorite podcast provider. You never have to miss a day of New Life. Wherever you are, we are. Daniel Grossman on coaching.
Coaches are really focused on the future and helping people to develop those skills and those strategies to help them move forward in their life. A coach really partners with you to focus on things like personal growth or health goals, spiritual growth, helping you develop in your career, or possibly strengthening your relationships, or maybe even breaking free from a negative pattern.
If you need a coach for life, your career, relationships, your health and fitness, leadership, and more, call New Life today and ask about the New Life Coaching Network. Our coaches have been screened and certified with the same intensive process we use for our network counselors.
Coaches use different techniques. Some like to use strategic questions and accountability, ultimately empowering you to take those next steps towards your goals.
Take control of your life and take action to achieve your goals. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and talk to us about getting a New Life coach today.
I really believe that everyone can use a coach in their corner.
1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back. We are talking with Bill, who's asking us about meeting his he hasn't gotten married yet, but his soon-to-be stepson. And we had a couple of questions for you, Bill, at the break, just, real quick, like how long have you been married or dating and engaged? That was one of them. How long has this relationship been going on?
Well, we're both a bit older. It's been going on a couple of months. I've been dating a couple of months, and we'll be getting married probably in a couple of months. But we are seeing a New Life counselor.
Great.
For sure, definitely covering all those bases. And I do like the, yes.
Well, one other question is, what has prevented you from meeting him at this point? Does he live outside of this area, or is it just because you've only been seeing her for a couple of months?
Well, it has to do with I told you he's a disabled vet,
okay.
And it has to do with us not being able to. He doesn't have a phone, actually.
Okay.
So yeah, that's really kind of that's the reason why I can't get in touch with him.
Okay, all right. Well, Sheri, you want to go ahead and continue?
Well, there's one thing I'm curious about, Bill, is so I just am curious about you. What is the anxiety about in you?
Regarding meeting him?
Yeah, that's coming up. Because I'm like, is it because it's been a quick courtship with his mom? Is it because there are some maybe even underlying or unknown anxieties in you, feelings about your own man, just there's insecurities or something?
Sure.
Because I'm like, what would a gentleman, I love that you're calling, Bill, but I'm like, what would a gentleman like you, who's been dating for 2 months and is going to get married in 2 months, which that's kind of a quick courtship, and you are saying we're older, so it sounds like you have your reasons, but why the anxiety?
Well, I'm actually picking. We're all driving together out to Arizona to meet her family as well. So he's just one piece of the puzzle. So there's probably going to be about 3 or 4 other people in her family that I'm going to meet for the first time. So there's not a tremendous amount of anxiety, but it's a little bit on edge about, not really on edge, but just a little bit nervous meeting the family because it's extended, really. He's a piece of the puzzle, but I really like what Jacqui told me about is showing him that I'm a good choice for his mom, which I would do anyway. But no, right. I think it's just anxiety in general about, hey, the first meeting with the family, and
it's a big deal.
Piece of the puzzle.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me ask you something. Is there any reason that they would be concerned about you?
Oh, I don't think there's any reason they would be.
Well, guess what? That was kind of nice to hear. It's kind of nice to hear you say, I don't think there's any reason they would be concerned about me. It's a level of confidence that you have within yourself that you're going to need to somehow get top of mind. It means pulling it out of that confidence you just brought to both Dr. Jacqui and I as you said that. I was like, I'm glad he's saying that.
Me too.
So it's moving forward with this. There is nothing that I have that would be concerning for his family. And that doesn't mean you go proud and haughty and, whatever. I don't think that's how, you'd roll. But I think to move in that confidence that you're grateful, that you're excited about being added to the family, and that you're even prepared to answer questions when maybe some of his family might be bold enough to say, you guys are getting married already? Because that might come up. And what are you going to say? Are you going to be defensive? Are you going to be able to explain it? Are you going to be able to put their hearts at ease and say, well, I guess as a X amount year-old person, I feel good about this commitment.
Yeah. And there may be something for them to learn in that process. You guys are doing therapy. You did say you're older. I don't know if either of you have been married before, but the family is going. You both have been? Mm-hmm. Okay. And so the family is going to be curious about all of that. You getting married means, yes, we're joining two people, but we're also joining those two people's families. Right. As much as we like to think that our marriage is happening in a vacuum, it's just not. And so my son-in-law's family is now my family. And so we want to have those conversations. I say go be you, be the great guy you are, get to know them, I'm excited to get to know you guys. I'm curious and interested. Let that show. Because people want to know that they matter. Also, let them see you love your fiance.
Well, I have a question too, Bill. I wonder how you're feeling about how quick you're getting married. Like, are you settled with that, or is there? I mean, I'm just curious because that can create anxiety.
Sure. No, actually, I feel extremely confident that the Lord is bringing us together and doing a lot of reading and I'm thinking to myself as I'm reading books, great books and everything, but as I read about difficulties and people and things like that, I go, that was many, many years ago. And in terms of as a Christian, having worked through that and having listened to New Life for a long time, there's going to be elements where two people coming together, there's going to be some issues, but I've moved beyond. We're both kind of mature in our faith as well as just our ability to know ourselves and that self-awareness. So I'm very excited about getting married.
That's good.
Yeah.
Sheri,
for a long time. So.
Well, Bill, I want Sheri to speak into, because I know, you just mentioned earlier, Sheri, that you have been married twice. This is your second marriage. And so there was preparation in that second marriage. What would you suggest to Bill? He's very excited, but, marriage is marriage.
Marriage is marriage. Well, Bill, you probably won't like my answer, but I would probably just have you guys slow down a little bit. I'm not saying a long time, but I would probably have you guys just slow down a little bit and maybe take a few more months in going through kind of more an extensive premarital. I mean, I don't know how old you are, but it's just, you're going to make up your mind and she's going to make up her mind, but there's nothing that's wrong with preparation, and there's nothing wrong with adding a few more months to your journey, which might seem like
a few more people, right? Like wisdom of counselors and your family and friends, right?
Well, a lot of times family and friends they're going to bring the perspective from their experience, and so it's hard for the couple to receive it because those family and friends aren't actually in the relationship, and since it's so new, they probably haven't seen a lot to be able to speak into. As someone who got married to a person I met in April, started dating in June, and married in September, I would say those things that happen in marriages will happen, even though you guys are mature. So keep that in mind. Just hold your past lightly.
I love it. Bill, we're going to send you How We Love, and we're going to pray for this marriage and for this meeting. Thank you, Sheri. Thank you, Jacqui. Thank you, listeners. We'll be back next time. Give us a call.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.
Thanks for watching today. We love helping people. I hope you sense that. And we know that there's always hope if you find the right resource. Now, if something we've said to somebody else applies to you, that's fantastic. That's what we're hoping for. But also, if you want to join us directly, you can call 1-800-229-3000 between 1 and 3 Eastern Time, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Those are the best times to get through. And while you're here on YouTube, check out these other videos that we've done to help people see where they could grow or a different path to take. And if you do that, would you give us a thumbs up on the video, and please subscribe to this channel. There are many ways that we can help you outside of the radio program, and it's very hard for some to pick up a phone and dial 1-800-NEW-LIFE, but when you do, we put you in touch with somebody who cares about you, knows all the resources out there, and they're going to find the best for you. There is no reason to struggle alone. I hope to see you tomorrow. Hope you'll invite somebody else to come and join that maybe needs just a little bit of help along the way. I'll see you next time.